For real, that was some heroic stuff. Depending on how you viewed it, but my views, yeah. Welcome to Kyle's Take, where I give my take on political and social issues through my eyes is all. I want to take a second to thank everyone who's been liking, supporting, commenting, all that. Today I want to talk about what's been going on in Kenosha, Wisconsin since the shooting of Jacob Blake. The civil unrest, the riots, the destroying of the city. I showed some in my last video, and after this one, you should take a look at that. This whole thing could have been avoided. If the mayors, governors did their job, a lot of this and a lot of the protesting going on around the country could have been avoided. All the casualties, the destroying of everything, jobs that are probably never going to come back. A lot of these cities are going to be rebuilding this destruction for the next probably at least 10 years. And if you're really staying glued to these riots after dark, you're seeing society break down. And for this to all be in the name of Black Lives Matter, I'm going to tell you, it is kind of funny seeing all the white on white violence taking place. You're seeing groups of people walk up to people as they're drinking coffee or as they're just walking down the street. If they don't put up the Black Lives Matter fist, then that means that they don't stand with the cause. They're racist, they're bigots, they're fascists, they're xenophobes, everything in the book. But from what I was able to gather, Kyle is registered in at least one scenario as a Hispanic. So if that's true, it can't be white on white violence. Anyway, the victims were Joseph Rosenbaum. We saw him get shot at a car dealership or a parking lot following an earlier meeting where it said Kyle put out a fire. He was the person allegedly that put out a fire in a dumpster when they were trying to push it in the street. So the two had an earlier encounter, and then we see what looks like a Molotov cocktail is thrown by Rosenbaum to Kyle, and that's when Kyle gets kind of like towards a building. He's kind of like closed off on the back, so he doesn't really have an escape, and that's when the shot is fired at Rosenbaum as he's advancing. We also hear him on the phone saying he thinks he killed someone. Then he makes his way up Sheridan Road and he's encountered by Anthony Huber, at which point Huber hits Kyle with a skateboard after Kyle falls to the ground. He hits him and tries to disarm him, at which point the shot is fired at Huber. Then Gage Grosskreutz tries to walk up to him with the pistol in his hand, at which point Kyle shoots him in the bicep, blowing out his arm. And what's funny is, he told his friend he only regretted not shooting Kyle. Like if his lawyer ain't gonna eat that up in court. And all three of those peaceful protesters, all had either charges or were guilty of a crime at the time of this shooting. And I'm not saying it justifies it, but it puts a 17-year-old in a better light when he's there as a medic all night, when he's there providing help and protection to businesses. And you have these three guys. We have Rosenbaum, who's a registered sexual offender against a minor. We have Huber, who's been hit with domestic and battery charges. And Grosskreutz, at the very least, he's guilty of aiming a gun at someone who was retreating. Because in all the videos I saw, Kyle was running. He's not trying to shoot anyone. He's always in a defensive position. He's not going after people. It's not until he falls down and he's confronted by 2 or 3 people, then he has to start shooting. And everyone is trying to get him. You hear people in the background saying, get him, he shot him, he killed him. My whole thing is, this all could have been avoided. All of these lives lost, all of these businesses that are being burned down, all these stores that are being robbed and looted, it can all be avoided. Local government, mayors and governors need to step up and allow the law enforcement to do their jobs. Nobody wants to call in martial law. That's the thing. They want it to go to that. Allow the violence to keep on escalating so that the president is forced to send in the feds, instead of them just handling it on the local level. And obviously, the president understands what they're trying to do, and he's not, and it's making them look kind of bad because some people are saying he's not doing anything. But what can he do? And I've heard him say countless times he's willing to send them. He just needs them to ask. Let them know. It's sad on all parts. It's sad people had to lose their lives. It's sad this 17-year-old is facing first-degree murder and a whole bunch of other serious charges. And it's super sad the government forced this child, because in the eyes of the law, he's still a child. They forced him to have to stand up for his civil rights. Stand up to say people can't break into, say, my friend's business or something. Or his uncle's business. I hope he gets off. I hope he's cleared. This was just a bad situation. I wish it didn't have to happen for what it's worth. I hope the local forces that be step up and don't let this city just turn into some of the other, like a Detroit or something. And we'll see what comes out as more evidence comes to the media. So you let me know. Am I right, wrong, in the middle? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think Kyle left from across state lines and went over there purposely looking for trouble? He never went there with any good intentions. And it's sad that the police let him walk right past them. And it's just showing Black lives don't matter in America. A white man could just shoot people and get off. Even though technically, I guess in at least one scenario, he's Hispanic. I don't know how accurate that is. But at least in one scenario. Or do you think it's sad Kyle had to be in that situation in the first place? He should be relying on law enforcement, and not even him as a child, but the owners of the businesses or whatever. They should be the ones worried about the law enforcement and the safety of their business. This kid who probably hasn't even graduated high school yet is sadly facing what he's facing. I mean, I hope he gets off. I don't think he went there with bad intentions. Based on what I've seen, he was out there rendering help to everyone, even people on the other side. He was giving them help. He was trying to prevent fires if it comes out that he was the one with the extinguisher, with the dumpster fire. I know that there's another piece of footage where he's running across someone's camera at the same gas station holding a fire extinguisher. So it could be. For real, that was some heroic stuff. Depending on how you viewed it, but my views, yeah. His marksmanship, his control, his trigger discipline. But that's all I got on it. So you let me know your take in the comments below. And as always, be safe.